Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Depending on where you are in this world, God bless you. This is Gloria White coming to you from Utah, USA. Today we're going to be in the King James Version of the Holy Bible in the book of Acts, and we are in chapter 23. And Paul, earnestly beholding the council, Men and brethren, I have lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest Ananias commanded them that stood by him to strike him or smite him on the mouth. Then said Paul unto him, God shall smite thee, thou whited wall, for sitteth thou to judge me after the law, and commandeth me to be smitten contrary to the law. And they that stood by said, Revilest thou God's high priest? And it translates in, Do you revile God's high priest? Then said Paul, I wist not, or I knew not, brethren, that he was the high priest. For it is written, Thou shalt not speak evil of the ruler of thy people. But when Paul perceived that one part were Sadducees and the other Pharisees, he cried out in the council, Men and brethren, I am a Pharisee, the son of a Pharisee. Of the hope and resurrection of the dead I am called in question. And when he had so said, there arose a dissension between the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and the multitude was divided. For Sadducees say that there is no resurrection, neither angel nor spirit, but the Pharisees confess both. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees' part arose and strove, saying, We find no evil in this man, but if a spirit or an angel has spoken to him, let us not fight against God. Well, when Paul threw out the spirit of God and the resurrection, and he knew that it was going to separate the Pharisees and the Sadducees, and he could get the Pharisees on his side. Smart man, wise as a serpent, gentle as a dove. And there arose a great cry, and the scribes that were of the Pharisees' part arose and strove, saying, We find no evil in this man. But if a spirit or an angel hath spoken to him, let us not fight against God. And when there arose a great dissension, the chief captain, fearing lest Paul should have been pulled in pieces of them, commanded the soldiers to go down and to take him by force from among them, and to bring him into the castle. And the night following the Lord stood by him. The Lord stood by him and said, Be of good cheer, Paul, for as thou hast testified of me in Jerusalem, so must thou bear witness also at Rome. And when it was day, And when it was day, certain of the Jews banded together and bound themselves under a curse, saying that they would neither eat nor drink till they had killed Paul. And they were more than 40 which had made this conspiracy. And they said to the chief priests and elders, and said, We have bound ourselves under a great curse, that we will eat nothing until we have slain Paul. Now therefore ye with the council signified to the chief captain, that he bring him down unto you tomorrow, as though he would inquire something more perfectly concerning him. And we, or ever he come near, are ready to kill him. And when Paul's sister's son heard of their lying in wait, he went and entered into the castle and told Paul. Then Paul called one of the centurions unto him and said, Bring this young man unto the chief captain, for he hath a certain thing to tell him. So he took him and brought him to the chief captain, and said, Paul the prisoner called me unto him, and prayed me to bring this young man unto thee, who hath something to say unto thee. Then the chief captain took him by the hand, and went with him aside privately, and asked him, What is that thou hast to tell me? And he said, The Jews have agreed to desire thee that thou wouldest bring down Paul tomorrow into the council, as though they would inquire somewhat of him more perfectly. But do not thou yield unto them, for there lie in wait for him, of them more than 40 men, with which have bound themselves with an oath, that they will neither eat nor drink till they have killed him. And now are they ready, looking for a promise from thee. So the chief captain then let the young man depart, and charged him, See thou tell no man what thou hast showed these things to me. And he called unto him 2 centurions, saying, Make ready 200 soldiers to go to Caesarea, and horsemen 70, and spearmen 200 at the 3rd hour of the night. And provide them beasts, that they may set Paul on, and bring him safe unto Felix the governor. And he wrote a letter after this manner. Claudius Lysias, unto the most excellent governor Felix, sendeth greeting. This man was taken of the Jews, and should have been killed of them. Then came I with an army, and rescued him, having understood that he was a Roman. And when I would have known the cause whereof they accused him, I brought him forth into their council, whom I perceived to be accused of questions of their law, but to have nothing laid to his charge worthy of death or of bonds. And when it was told me how that the Jews laid wait for the man, I sent straightway to thee, and gave commandment to his accusers also, to say before thee what they had against him. Farewell. Then the soldiers, as it was commanded them, took Paul and brought him by night to Antipatris. On the morrow they left the horsemen to go with him, and returned to the castle. Who, when they came to Caesarea and delivered the epistle to the governor, presented Paul also before him. And when the governor had read the letter, he asked of what province he was. And when he understood that he was of Cilicia, I will hear thee, he said, when thine accusers are also come. And he commanded him to be kept in Herod's jail, or judgment hall. Look how God worked. Paul's sister's son overheard them scheming to kill Paul. And the centurion said, It's not happening on my watch. This guy's a Roman citizen, regardless of what their beef is. This is a Roman citizen. He's not going to get killed on my watch. Give me this many horsemen, this many soldiers, this many spearmen, this many. Oh my goodness. He sent half an army with him to make sure that Paul arrived safely. Farewell, he said. in his letter. That's how he signed off. Farewell. God is so good. God sees that his will is done. Sometimes we don't understand why he does the things he does the way he does. But we have to remember his thoughts are so much higher than our thoughts, and his ways so much deeper than our ways. I mean, we just cannot comprehend the man, the God, the being who can create the sun and the universe and a tree with the breath of his word. With the breath of his word, he hung the stars and called each one by name. He measured how many hairs are on our heads, how many days we would each live. He arranged everything for us to be able to live with him. He arranged for us to have salvation. A way to wash our sins away. A way for us to be worthy enough to come before him. To wash us clean of the sins. As it says, the saints wash their robes in blood, in the blood of the Lamb. You know, a lot of people don't realize this, but when the Bible says, and Jesus comes and his vesture is dripping with blood, he takes the wicked first with his sickle and the winepress, the blood that comes out of the winepress. That's the blood that's dripping from his robe. It's not our blood. And it's not his blood. It's the blood of the wicked and the blood of the sinners. And as always, I love you.